Ladies and gentlemen, if we have quiet, abortion. See, it's no matter what you say, he laughs. You wanna know why? Because he's stoned out of his fucking mind. He's a pot-smoking machine, and just everything is funny. See? Now watch this, watch. See, he can't stand it, it's just too much. It's too much for him. It's like a pressure cooker. It builds up and then it just fucking explodes. Whoa! Okay, Rob, can we get a station identification, please? Timing.
What?
No, that wasn't. It was. Can you pull the... You know how like I stammer and do the thing, I hit the thing, and then eventually you figure it out, and you... Come on, station identification. Alright. K-Rob, can we please get a station identification? You don't know where it is. Oh, I see. I don't even need the, you know... Okay. I've had enough out of you. Ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a little trip. You guys ready to take a little trip? Yeah. To space. The final frontier. These are the monologues of astrologer Pete Goldie, whose 5-minute mission to talk about bar graphs and charts and to make you understand quantum physics and string theory so that you can be a better person here in the city of art and innovation.
I read that one.
Hello, Pete.
Hi, Chicken.
Welcome to the program. Don't look at me. You're supposed to look at them. I'm not going to look.
You know, last time I saw you, you're outside my house, and I was screaming obscenities at you while you were doing me a huge favor.
Yeah, that was pretty shitty of you, Pete.
Doesn't that sound sort of backwards?
Kind of weird. You're a weird guy. You know, you stare through a telescope and look at billions of miles that are billions of miles away, and then you talk about them. You're a weird guy, man. Do you have a show for us tonight, Pete? Something, you know, short?
We haven't done the show in about 8 months. I have a lot of material to cover.
Great.
Several semesters.
Awesome.
I'll begin now.
Yes.
Okay. The first picture you're looking at is the picture where I described that it's my segment of the show, the Space Science Report.
Space!
And you can read along with me. It's the Ask Dr. Hal Show Space Science Report. It's a very attractive picture, I think, and I thought you'd like that. While we're talking about it, let's look at the next image there from David.
You're the only one talking about it, Pete.
That is the International Space Station, as seen from a German radar satellite.
Are you sure that that's not a German metal band's album cover from 1981?
Let me move right on, because I have a 50-page PowerPoint presentation after I show all these pictures.
I'll kill you.
Guess what happened yesterday? It was the 41st anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing.
Alleged moon landing.
On the moon.
What fucking moon?
And it landed on the moon, and I thought you would want to know...
Allegedly landed on the moon.
What landed on the moon first? Of course, it was the...
What allegedly?
It was the landing legs of the lunar module. It was the first thing to touch the surface. I don't know why they always show a picture of the stupid footprint from the astronaut. That's what got them there. Do you like that? It's still all shiny. It looks like it just came out of a soundstage somewhere, right?
It looks like an 8-year-old made it in their basement, is what it looks like.
Yeah. This was taken by the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. They have a photograph from the satellite orbiting the moon right now. That shows the Apollo 11 site. It actually shows the descent stage of the lunar module sitting there on the surface, highly reflective. It shows it right there. You can even look closely. You can see the footprints of the astronauts. This was a crater nearby. They were actually supposed to land in this crater.
Where are the footprints? Show me the footprint.
Those little lines right there. I'll show you the footprints. You want to see the line? Now here's something very interesting that I dug up. You keep saying that this has been faked on a big sound stage. Is that right?
It's all bullshit.
And there is no doubt that I am a what?
And you're no matter what, how much doubt there is or whatever, you're still, you know, you'll always be Pete Goldie.
Yeah. I think you used a different term when we last discussed this.
Douchebag?
Yeah. After they took all the photographs on the surface, somebody sat down and figured out every single photograph that Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong took were taken from certain spots on the surface there, and they were looking at this angle, that angle, that angle, that angle. And this is the direction the camera was pointed for every single photograph they took on the surface of the moon on the first landing. And this whole scene where they were walking around, this is no larger than a baseball diamond, but yet the photos they took went on and on in the distance. Yet when you go back and you look at the geology and the geography of everything, it all lines up perfectly with what you see from the orbiter right now. How could this have been fake? The soundstage would have had to be the size of Connecticut. Explain that, chicken.
I don't know. Maybe Connecticut's in on it. I don't know.
I know I'm a little emotional about this. I haven't had any melatonin all day. It's really rough. Yeah.
No melatonin for you. Go fast. Go.
Okay. All right. Let's move along here.
Yes.
I might totally fall asleep. Now, next image, David. One of the more exciting things that happened in the last 8 months was a mission by the Japanese space program, and they flew a spaceship to an asteroid. It's not a very big asteroid. But they flew an asteroid to this asteroid.
That's an asteroid?
Hayabusa spacecraft went to that asteroid. It's one of those asteroids which actually fits the theoretical determination that most of these asteroids are really just a pile of rocks and dust.
Oh no!
They're not even very coherent. This asteroid, or this spacecraft the Japanese got there, actually did touch down on the surface twice of this asteroid. That asteroid is only 1,600 feet long.
How big is it?
Thank you.
That is a scrotum.
Oh, now it's funny. Okay. And this spacecraft, though, went there to collect a sample of the asteroid and return it to the planet Earth. And the news that happened this recent mission is the return capsule returned to Earth. And let's see the next image. The next image actually shows an artist rendering.
That's fake.
Yes, of course. It's a rendering. This is how they distilled all the data, and they got this Japanese craft there sitting on the dusty gray surface, where it was supposed to actually pick up some of the sample, then return that to the planet Earth. Next image, please, David. Now here was this actual spacecraft hovering over the asteroid.
That's Darth Vader.
Oh yeah, all right, you're right. Okay, all right. Anyway, it returned to Earth, and they got it back to Earth, and it was supposed to come back after 5 years. It actually took 7 years because everything broke on that spacecraft the Japanese built. Every single thing broke. Yes, the reaction wheels didn't work, the ion engines died, and the batteries failed.
And the Jim Mason's fault, actually.
Yeah,
it was anything mechanical that breaks, blame it on Jim Mason.
It was a fully funded art project, and nothing worked on it, except it returned the capsule to Earth, and they opened up the capsule, and of course it was empty. There was nothing in it. The Japanese could not be happier. This spacecraft coming back, you see, the Japanese are very, I don't know how to describe this, they like themselves and their things very much. And the fact that their spaceship went way out there and came all the way home, even though it landed in Australia, it came all the way home, and they were very happy that they got back the empty capsule. And they'll be talking more about the emptiness in some science reports later on, how very empty it is. About a year ago, but the results are in. This is the Kepler spacecraft, and that's the
20 iPhones?
What is that?
Yes, they sent more iPhones to space than any other spacecraft. This, in fact, is several hundred megapixel camera, like the iPhones. I think are what, about a handful of pixels on those. They sent this. This is the best camera they ever sent to space. This camera is meant to stare at one spot without blinking for 2 years, and it's been staring for about a year. And the results are in on this mission. What they're doing is they're staring at stars,
right?
And they stare at the stars, and they want to see if the stars briefly wink out when a planet transits across the face of that star? Well, they were looking at 160,000 some stars with the several hundred megapixel camera, and in the first few months, they have found at least 700 new planets orbiting distant stars in the constellation Cygnus. And they are withholding the data. It is so exciting, they are not releasing the data. It is a government policy that all NASA data must be made available as soon as possible. They're actually withholding the data until they can corroborate and confirm that some of these planets are in fact planets, and maybe even Earth-like planets, the right orbit, in a habitable zone that would have the potential for alien life.
Whoa.
Whoa. This is how the camera works. It looks at the star, and it sees a small dip in the intensity of the light as you have a transit. These are actual data points coming, and by the depth of the width and the depth and how fast it goes, they can tell how fast it's orbiting, how large the planet is, the distance it is from the star. All of these data can be get out from the shape of that little dip in light.
Is anybody else seeing the boobs? Is it just me? Is it me? Or is it... I don't know.
162,000 space boobs in the constellation Cygnus. There you have it.